Let's begin, lovelies. Lovely yoga morning practice. So choose whether you want to start lying down or in a seated position. And just enjoy a few lovely deep breaths. Coming into this space, coming into your time to yourself. And I don't know whether many of you get space throughout your day or your week for quietness. But that is why I think Yin is such a beautiful practice, because there's a lot more silent gaps when we practice this. And they are meant for that internal contemplation and awareness. Just notice your thoughts in that moment. And maybe let's come to grounding our energies into Mother Earth. Just see those roots bury themselves from the tailbone or from the soles of your feet. And draw your awareness to your breath. Enjoying how your body moves as you breathe. This lovely expansion in the upper body and the belly, and contraction as we exhale. What do you need from today? Not just your practice. Think about what you might need today. And whether there is a space in your day for you to be able to give this to yourself. So when you're ready, we're going to come up for Zazen, seated meditation. Anyone who's lying down, just hug the knees in gently. Take a moment to just enjoy a little rock on your back. If you're seated already and you just want to move, feel into the shoulders and the back. Maybe roll the head, just feels nice. Taking a few more deep breaths, being conscious and coming up to seated gently. So today I just feel like taking a meditation practice where we just take silence and quietness. Without any agenda of breath. You can follow the breath if you wish, or just notice it. But also just sitting here and noticing the mind. Again, without any judgment or without any control. Just sit with yourself, sit with your thoughts, and observe whether there are any gaps between your thoughts without trying to control anything. So we'll take our 5 minutes. Resting hands, closing the eyes, get comfortable through the body. And just get comfortable sitting with yourself. Relax. Just witness the mind and the body. Just notice how many times you're aware of your mind and the times when you're not. Staying present with your practice. Deep breaths. And just as we come towards the end of that practice, the end of 5 minutes, just with ourselves, notice how it felt. Gently blink your eyes open. Take a breath. Were you just starting to sort of drop into another layer of consciousness? Or was it quite quick for you to get into a peacefulness there? I think sometimes the longer you sit with a meditation, the phases of it change, depending on what style of meditation you're doing. But certainly if you're just sitting with yourself in the quietness, there's definitely kind of a drop in consciousness layers. You may kind of understand what I'm saying by that. So we're going to come into our first pose, caterpillar. A nice stretch for the whole length of the back of the body. Today I'm going to use just a little rolled up blanket under my knees. just to aid the feeling of getting a bit more of a stretch through the whole back of the body. So just a little one, nothing too much that's going to really lift my legs, and just connect the sit bones to the mat. And we'll take 5 minutes here. Let everything soften. Minimal amount of muscular activation. Let everything be passive. And if you're aware of any issues with your lower back or little twinges, just be mindful yourself. Start to relax your legs. And they may rotate outwards. Just let them. Holding them upright, using the muscles, just try to release that. How does this feel in your body today? Do you feel restricted anywhere? And does that physical restriction reflect anywhere in life? Are there any niggles in the body that reflect in life as well? Things niggling you day to day? Relaxing shoulders, head and neck. And just keep noticing if there's any tension in the calf muscles, in the legs, anywhere. Enjoy the deep breaths into the body as well. Notice if you can just inch a little bit more forwards, whether that feels comfortable for you, whether the body has softened enough for this. And just keep checking for any tension that likes to find its way back in. Can you notice your breath in the belly and the chest and the back? How does this feel today? Let's just take a few more breaths here and just witnessing how it feels to come to the end of this pose. And ever so gently lifting up. Again, just enjoying how we lift the body and the release that you get through the back before even coming down onto your mat. And being mindful of anything that needs a little bit of tenderness today. There are times when we need to be a little bit more gentle with ourselves than other times. Relax to the mat. Let everything soften. Notice any tension that you're still holding in the back, perhaps around the pelvis. And just allowing the lumbar spine to find a natural shape. Enjoying being in your body this morning. And just notice the quality of your breath and the length of your breath. And let's draw our knees in. Gentle rock. Again, just being aware of what you feel through your body, wherever it is. And we're going to roll up, come onto our fronts for amphibian. So a nice little back stretch, but also bringing the leg out to the side. So I'm going to use a little pillow just to rest the chest, feel like being a bit more supported today. And then with the left leg extended, I'm going to bring the right leg up. Choose where you want that leg to be, whether you want it quite high and the knee above the hip, or whether it's in line or it just needs to be slightly lower. Just notice where it is most comfortable for you. And then awareness on where you're holding tension. Likely to be a little bit lower back and left buttock. Notice if you can relax into that left hip and the left side of the body. If this is really quite painful for anybody, please come out of it. Just relax back into neutral pose. Or using any other props to support and adjust you. This might be quite challenging initially to really let go and soften. Take the elbows wide as well if you need to soften into less of an arch in the lower back. And just following your breath. If you want to use a block for your forehead, you can. So notice what you're feeling, where you're feeling it. Keep loosening around the buttocks if there's tension there. And just gently follow your breath. Does it feel softer now, this pose? And let's take a lovely deep breath as we contemplate how we're going to gently move out of this pose. Lowering that right leg. And either come onto your belly or your back. I'm going to turn to my back because it always feels nicer to relax in this position and to feel the after effects. It's almost like a kind of a reset where I can notice, choose where you want to be. Awareness on any kind of chi shifting through the body, perhaps the right inner thigh, around the right side of the hip. Just checking in with what you're feeling on a very subtle level. How does your lower back feel? And then when you're ready, let's bring these in. I'm starting to notice a lot more lately that just taking the body in that position where we sort of curve the lower back like that, it has a real relieving effect afterwards. If you do it in a nice gentle way. So let's turn back over onto belly. Again, use a little cushion for the chest if you want to. The right leg is lengthened and the left leg is the one we bend now. And again, you might find this a very different feeling initially, depending how open the hip socket is on both sides of your body. There may be a bit of a difference in how this feels. Relax that right buttock and that lower part of that right back, all down the right side. You might even be a little bit tense in the left thigh, so just checking in where you can. Block for the head if you wish. The more we can relax and be supported, the more we can really feel these stretches. So relax lower back, buttocks. Anything that's painful, always come out. How does this pose make you feel? Do you find it easy, or is it sort of a little bit awkward? And there's a curiosity in that. Is it one of those poses that just give it a minute or so and it really does soften? Or are you in a mental battle the whole time? Can you breathe deeply and feel the breath in the belly? And how does this side compare with the other side in terms of how long it takes to settle and its sensations? Keep relaxing buttocks, thighs. Deep breaths. And let's just take 2 more breaths here. And just scan physically, mentally and emotionally about being in this pose. Gently, when you're ready, let's come out. Physically, it feels awkward initially, that pose. Mentally, it's a little bit challenging to relax. But emotionally, after a while, there's a surrender and a sort of an acceptance and quite a nice feeling within that pose. Let's notice now how it feels just to relax out. Feeling the after effects of that stretch. Putting our body into that shape. Is there a difference with the right and the left side, or are they quite even in the experience? So just enjoying some breaths. And then when you're ready, let's draw the right knee, left knee in. We're going to come up into dragonfly. So a nice wide-legged pose where we gently bend forward, taking the spine gently in the opposite direction, not as much as we did with caterpillar. Or maybe more so, with the legs wider. May allow for it. Let's come up. So taking our feet wide. If you need a little blanket just rolled up under the buttocks, then that can always feel quite comfortable, encouraging that tilt of the pelvis forward. So let's just see how this pose feels today. Let's gently start to lean forward. And as we let the head relax, lengthen through the neck. Try and relax your calves and your ankles. There's always probably a little bit of tension in the backs of the knees as well. Keep returning to check. How does this pose feel today? And where are you feeling it? Lovely stretch on the inner legs. We'll work your liver, kidney and spleen channels especially. And as you just gently breathe this pose, notice anything that is tender in the body and you can't push too far into it. Observing Satya and Ahimsa, so truth and honouring the body with what you can and can't do today. And non-violence, non-harm to the body. Another yama, asteya, which is non-stealing, so not stealing energy that you don't have today. Directing the breath to the belly and the chest. And just exploring as we sit with this pose a bit longer, if there's any movement, we can soften more deeply into it. Keep relaxing the backs of the legs and feet. And we'll take a lovely breath. Gently lift up, feeling that ever so soft release through the tension on the inner legs as we just lift up slowly. And then finding neutral. Taking a lovely deep breath and that lovely sigh on the exhale. And feeling whatever you feel. If your body could talk to you, certain areas, what would it be saying? Today, my lower back will be saying, you need to be gentle with me today. Enjoying the breath. And then let's bring these in, nice and gently. There's no rush. Have a little rock. And maybe just a few circles to massage the spine a bit. So we're going to come into heart bench. You need 2 blocks. A top block for the head and just a long one that aligns along the spine. And so, excuse me, coming down, just lowering gently onto this block, placed behind kind of the heart center. Take a few goes or a few moments just to get it into a position where you can tolerate it and then soften. Always a pose that feels a little bit uncomfortable to come into initially. But give it a few minutes, and it is one that you definitely get used to. Just let the arms become heavy. Let the shoulders curl backwards. And you might find just a gentle adjustment as the chin tucks in to lengthen through the neck. Try and relax the lower back and buttocks. And noticing how this feels to breathe. And whenever we have a little bit of a wobble inside emotionally with ourselves, whether we're not feeling good enough, this is a really lovely pose just to come into and say to yourself, I am good enough. Give yourself some self-love. Release that self-doubt. And know that we are perfect with our imperfections. While you're in this pose, you can think of somebody who may need a little bit of love today. And just close your eyes and imagine your heart opening like it has doors, and just in whatever way you want to imagine love being sent to them, a lot of pink mist around them or confetti hearts. Just try and allow the heart to open and you send this love to them in an intentional way. It may be someone close to you, it might be somebody that you've not heard or spoken to for a while. And just draw them into your awareness and send out love. It doesn't have to be one person, you may have a few people in mind. Notice how the posture has changed physically and emotionally within you. And so with one more deep breath, we will come gently out, lifting the head. And then using your arms to support you. Coming up. Just pop the blocks to the side. We might use those again. And just gently come down. Coming from the hardness of the blocks to the softness of your mat. relax. If your shoulders feel a little bit hunched to your ears, just drop them away. And lovely belly breaths. Feeling the energy shifting around the chest and heart area. And then draw the knees in. The last pose we're going to come into is bench, but I'm going to show you two ways. You can use the pillow as we have often done, but if you'd like to explore a different way that I've come across, and it is using these blocks again, then you can try this. The blocks are on the lowest level and sort of sideways this way. And a little bit like lung bench, but actually with the blocks lower. We're just going to lie back, and you can try this. You might not like the feel of it and you prefer a pillow. This block kind of comes just to sort of where the base, the tips of the shoulder blades, you'll feel that. And then this other block is just simply to rest the head. So it is another kind of gentle back bend, a little bit like lying over the cushion, but just, I would say, just slightly different. You might want to try this one. Just put the block that's behind the back to a comfortable place where the tips of your sort of shoulder blades may be touching, but it's not uncomfortable. If you need to lower it down, you can. And you can just come into this sort of supported, gentle back bend. And if you want to bring bend at the elbows to cactus arms, you can. Let the wrists just hang. Or if you're happy with the arms by your side, I find that more comfortable. So a little bit different from bench, where the head is tilted back probably a bit more away from the cushion. So you might want to try that one. If you don't want to, you can always come back to your pillow. I'm going to try both today, the one with the blocks and also just lying back over the pillow. It's obviously softer, a bit more supportive throughout the whole body. That's nice as well. They're both quite nice. Just showing you two ways. Using the pillow, there is definitely less of a curve in the lumbar part of your spine. So if you just need it to be softer, then this is the one. So whatever pose you've chosen to explore, or both, relax. Just gently be mindful of your breath. Take that step back and witness your thoughts. And relaxing your face. Notice how long you can witness your thoughts before your mind kind of just takes itself off on its own. And then you can draw yourself back. Try to relax everything. How does it feel to enjoy the full breath in the belly and up into the chest, and a nice slow exhale out? And when you're ready, we're going to gently lift the head. Lift your body just enough to pull the cushion away or pull the blocks away, and coming down. Have a moment just to feel that particular pose. Relax. Just being complete in tune with your body. Check how your feet feel, your calves, your knees. Check in through the thighs, buttocks and pelvis. Awareness on your lower spine and abdomen. The mid and upper spine and chest. Shoulders, arms, hands. Neck and throat, and all sensations in the face and head. Just checking in with all these areas. So choosing now whether you'd like to remain lying down, maybe pull a blanket over, or coming up to seated, either which way, perhaps just hugging the knees in for a moment. Lift the head, have a little rock. Gentle stretch through the back. And then just gently choosing where you'd like to be for relaxation. And if you need a little blanket around your shoulders just to keep warm, the weather's turning just a little. So I found a nice little passage to read to you. The author is unknown. So as you just relax in whatever pose you've chosen, this is called Growing Good Corn, a story, which is a lovely life lesson. There once was a farmer who grew award-winning corn. Each year he entered his corn into the state fair, where he won a blue ribbon. One year, a newspaper reporter interviewed him and learned something interesting about how he grew it. The reporter discovered that the farmer shared his corn seed with his neighbours. How can you afford to share your best seed corn with your neighbours when they are entering the corn competition with yours each year? The reporter asked. You don't understand how corn grows, the farmer replied. The wind picks up pollen from the ripening corn and it swirls it from field to field. If my neighbours grew inferior corn, cross-pollination will steadily degrade the quality of my corn. If I want to grow good corn, I must help my neighbours grow good corn too. This man is not only a good farmer, but he also understands the connectedness of life. His corn cannot improve unless his neighbour's corn also improves. So it is with our lives. Those who choose to live in peace should help their neighbours to live in peace. Those who choose to live well should help others to live well. For the value of life is measured by lives it touches. Those who choose to be happy should help others find happiness. For the welfare of each is bound up with the welfare of all. I thought that was a nice little story, just to emphasize sharing our good fortune, sharing our qualities and blessings with others. Just take some time to ponder and relax. Gently, when you're ready, just draw your awareness back. And take a few deep breaths, even before you move. Notice how you're feeling, and maybe just say to yourself in your mind, I feel good. When we feel good, we are in resonance with our higher vibration, and we draw more attractive things towards ourselves. So whether you're seated or lying down, just begin to gently move. You may want to blink the eyes open or keep them closed just a moment longer. Moving fingers and toes. If you're lying down, you can just gently hug the knees in. Move in whatever way feels right, but just slowly coming back into your day. Nice deep breath. Let the shoulders relax. And then when you're ready, coming to seated. Feeling good. Nice and stretched. Energy is flowing. There's a good vibration within you. And then when you're ready, draw your hands together at heart center. Om Shanti. Namaste.